Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. It's been a long time since we've had a party. There's been some things going on in my life. So I haven't actually done a live on YouTube or TikTok in almost a month. I've actually been spending some time in Discord. Sherry GMAO, Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Mitch Tal Sharison. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Thank you for joining in on the party. It's been a minute. That's what I was talking about. Today's party is brought to you by Ethics in Entrepreneurship. I spent some time away from the live camera, but I have still been busy. What I was talking about was the fact that I started up a Discord channel, and there's been some people who have come in, but we don't have enough activity yet for it to be a steady thing. Tam Bam 116, familiar face and name. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Thank you for coming into the party. Fancy Frog 1971, I see you. Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Thank you for coming to the party. I don't know if any of you know about Discord. It's a place where you can set up a profile and also have a channel where you can do text messaging for communication, as well as audio and visual video. So instead of using maybe a Zoom sequence, you can open up your own channel on Discord. Masood Comedy. That looks like Sanskrit. Namaste. Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Mo Israel. Buddha Charlie. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Maddie, Adine is blessed. Latoya Patterson. Assalamu alaikum, Masood Comedy. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you, your families, and your circles. Masood, you say you're from Bangladesh? One day, inshallah, I'd like to visit Bangladesh. Lord willing, Adon willing, I'd like to visit Bangladesh. I wanted to talk to you all about Discord. I want to talk with you all about the fact that, yes, I do come on live. It's been a minute. Kalna Usula, Tanya Garcia, bienvenido. Barlea, Frankie the French, Masood. I am from the Emerald Throne. I live on earth, but I come from our Creator. I shall return to our Creator, and may our Creator be pleased when I return. Amos Arnold, Jackie Dillard Jr. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you for coming to the party. We're here to talk about ethics in entrepreneurship. You may have a service or a product that you would like to distribute to the world. That's why I don't say that I'm in from any location, because I'm here to speak with everyone in the world. There is no nationality or flag that can represent me, because those are all man-made. I come from our Father. Who is this? Raul Salas? Where I come from, it doesn't matter who you are. I have to greet you with the best blessing there is and greeting. Hashem Yahab Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum. Wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Now let's get to your comment. Decided to put the letters in. This Raul Salas. Bienvenido, welcome to you. Decided to put in some letters that say G-A-Y. Raul, I want you to open up your handy dandy dictionary, and I want you to go to the etymology section, and I want you to find G-H-E-U, and then in parentheses, it's an upside down E, gray. Go look it up. Jildo. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Jildo says, dye that gray. You'd look 20 years younger. Now, why would I want to give a false face? I am exactly how old I'm supposed to be. Why would I show anything different? In some cultures, silver hair is a mark of wisdom. You don't know how old I am. There are people who are 16 years old who have silver in their hair. Oh, you think I've got a good face? Thank you. Ta-da, shukran. Thank you. Over here we have L-E-G-W-N. Dagoberto Arbiz. Bienvenido. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Bloody Lifeline. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Juju. Bev's Body Butter. Familiar face and name. It's very tabah to have you here. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you, your families, and your circles. Masood wants to know if I'm married. I left my heart in Tanzania, Tanganyika. Some people would call me Malaki. Some people consider that as king. I am Malaki Zedok. That is my walk. That is my assignment. That is the order who I walk with. As Malachi or Malaki, yes, there's a lady in my life. She would be Malakia. I left my heart in Tanzania, Tanganyika. That's to answer your question, Masood. Now, we're not here to talk about my marriage status. We're here to talk about entrepreneurship. We're here to talk about ethics. And so, ethically, yes, it is important for me to answer such a question because that lets you know a lot of things about where I stand. Ethics are standards. Before we go any further, as with my custom, going to recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Auzu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim. We seek the protection of our Father against shaitan and evil ways as we walk the divine path. We recite surah and prayers to worship and ask for guidance from our Creator. And as we do so, each time we take one step closer to our Creator takes 1,000 steps towards us. That's how far away we are from our Creator. We may take 1,000 steps in a day, but does that mean that we're going to get that much closer to the Creator? Unless that's our mission. Each step must be towards our Creator. And we are so far away that one step from us going towards our Creator in righteousness, our Creator will take 1,000 steps towards us. Family, that means we are very far removed. We have a lot of work to do. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas sirata al-mustaqim. Sirata allatheena an'amta 'alayhim ghayril maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. Amin. In the name of our Father, the most merciful, most compassionate, Lord over all worlds, Creator of our deen, our divine path, the most merciful, the most compassionate. We ask you to forgive us when we disobey like others have done before us. We ask you to teach us how to forgive the way that you forgive us. We thank you for giving us the deen, the divine path. Ameen. Ethics in entrepreneurship. How many of you flip through classified sections in the newspaper and search your emails and look for those job wanted, monster job and all of that? 10 positions available. Now hiring. And then they get 200 applications that come in. Out of 200 people, only 10 will be hired. What happens to the other 190 people? You're still looking for placement. You're still looking for occupation. For lifers, Enron Gobbleglis, Larry Michi, Julie Rodriguez, Bienvenuto, Jordi, Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you, your families, and your circles. You can go and line up and ask someone to occupy your time. Or you can look within. Learn about what talents you actually have, what skills you possess that you can use to be a positive part of the community. What can you do that will help other people? What can you do that you are great at? Where it would make someone else have to sweat and feel like they're going through some toil, but it's something that's easy for you. What can you do that's positive and beneficial? That's what would make you an entrepreneur. Because then you can come up with a business proposal on how you can help people. Start with a form that's going to show people how to contact you. This is my name. This is my phone number. This is my email address. Then from there, you're going to talk about your mission statement. And your mission isn't, I want to make $1 million. Your mission is, once again, how are you going to use your service or your product to be beneficial to the community? Now, where I'm from, I do my best to be beneficial to those who are of the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. That's our creator and the provider of our sustenance. And I live and work within Yahweh's kingdom. So, I'm going to do my best to be of service to others who are in Yahweh's kingdom. Mission statement. Now, what am I doing in my mission? Well, I'm observing the STOP program. I'm observing it. I'm a part of it. And I am full-time recruiting within the STOP program. Well, what is the STOP program? Well, there's 4 letters involved. S, sustenance. T, textiles. O, occupations. P, purpose. Sustenance, textiles, occupations, purpose. That's the STOP program. Did you ever think about the fact that your occupation is not just where you work, it's where you happen to be or live. Your residence is where you occupy space. You ever heard the phrase work from home? So we got a way to contact you, and then you've got a mission statement. Well, what's your, we won't use a huge word like executive, but we need something like that. What's your executive summary? How are you going to run this business? Who manages it? Oh, well, I'm a sole proprietor. But I heard about all these LLCs and everything. Well, I'm in Yahweh's kingdom, which means I'm separated from that other kingdom. I'm in a system already. And in that system, I don't need to be limited with my licenses on any contract that I decide to write up. So I wouldn't choose to get an LLC. I'm a sole proprietor, meaning it's my responsibility if something is righteous or if something is out of place. It's my responsibility to see to it that it gets corrected. This can go with a owner, manager, operator, one sole person situation. It could be 10 people. It could be 50 people. As a matter of fact, you could have sole proprietors as co-partners. Because here's the real breakdown. You can be a sole proprietor. You could have an LLC. Or you can go for incorporation status. See, that's the real business models. As a sole proprietor, you're still going to keep your ledgers. You can go to Dollar Tree and buy a composition notebook for $1, $1.25, $1.50. Get yourself a pack of pens. 1 pen, 2 pen, 4 pens. Something that people don't do too often anymore. Write things down. Because you're going to have a daily account. Executive summary. What about your financial plan? How do you plan on getting a profit? See, in order for you to do that, you're going to have to establish what's your service, what's your products, what's your location, your business times. So let's work through that, right? So you said there's a possibility of working from home. So what's your product? Do you have room at home to store the materials while you're building your product and then store it once it's complete until you ship it to people? Because here's something for you to consider. Yeah, people talk about drop shipment all the time. Yeah, you can sell some cheap items to people and you can have a second income because you're selling other people's products. Where'd the product come from? What materials are they made of? Who put it together? And would you be willing to go to those environments to harvest the materials, put together the product, be the one who ships it and moves it around, be the face? Or are you just selling the next gadget? Because then we got to go all the way back to the first question. What is your product and service, and who are you serving? Because this is ethics in entrepreneurship. Anybody can be an entrepreneur. Anybody can get up and say, I'm selling something. Anybody can be an entrepreneur. The question is, are you ethical? What are your standards? Where can you be found? How can your product be used? And what's the story behind you? Because it really doesn't matter how great your product is. When people show up and they're looking at you, they're considering you more than they're considering that product, because now that when the product does go home with them, they have a story to go along with it. You know how I know? The cereal that you eat. Sometimes it's because of what you saw on the television prior to going to the store and purchasing it. And then other times it's because when you got to the store and you looked at the aisles and you said, you know what, even though I came here for this, I like that price better. Matter of fact, I like the picture on the packaging much better. It's a completely different flavor, texture, made out of some different ingredients. I wanted that instead. Boom. You went home with a box of cereal, and there's a story attached to it. Iris Geffard, Donna Carroll, J. Bess 89, Dave, Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Abarak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you. Thank you all for coming to the party. Looks like we've got 2 in YouTube land. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Sumaya Lore, familiar name and face. It's very tabah to have you here. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Abarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your servant. That's for all of you. XXXX. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Abarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. So we've got contact page, so people can get the information about who you are and how to find you. And let's put a little pin right there, because we want to think about something. Website. Bev's Body Butter. Praise the name of Yah for this glorious and blessed to receive the holy righteousness that crafted you, that created you. Ameen. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ameen. All praises to our source of sustenance and mercy. Ameen. Bev's Body Butter. You all need to look her up and find out ways to order her product. very influential person. You never know who's doing the big things in this world. Lil Silver 6'8". I see you. Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Aparat. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. All right. So what we're looking at right now is overhead. Because if you work from home, now you don't have to lease office space, right? So your utilities are all going to be hand in hand. Your electric bill, your water bill, okay? So once again, there's that site. Now, do we want to give a professional appearance to it? Do we want people to see that, oh, you know, over here in the corner is where I do all my work and everything. You know, I got this whole house, but this is my spot. You know, do we want to give that appearance? Because there's other ways around that. We're going to get to that. So, you got your home office. You may not want to use your physical address. You may have a P.O. box for corresponding, as well as an email address. You mail things out because you're doing the direct shipping yourself instead of drop shipping and having parcels sent from other places. You're putting your hands on it and then you're sending it directly to the customer. Business to customer transfer, BTC. Darlene, Hashem Yahav Alahim Shalom Aparat. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. This is where the website comes in. Your Facebook profile is not your website. Your TikTok profile is not your website. There are things you can do from your website that you cannot do from a social media platform. It is your own platform. Your website is your own platform. Even if you get a free website domain name, you have more control of that than you do your TikTok profile or your YouTube profile or Facebook. Why? Because you can add pages. It is virtual real estate. You have a home page. That's where people get to find out about you. You have an about page where you can give further description and offer the opportunity for people to contact you. Leave a comment here. Send me an email. Here's my phone number. Call me. That virtual real estate can be free, like I said. I have a free website, 3P Roge of HighestHeightsWordpress.blog. I went and bought the domain for like $4 or $12 for a year. So now it's 3P Roge of HighestHeightsBlog. But it'll still show up sometimes. .wordpress.blog. It doesn't matter because it's just it's an address. It's still going to the same place. I post blogs from my website. The material that you see coming up on the TikTok page or on the YouTube page, the videos that are popping up, the pictures that come up sometimes, those are also involved in blogs because that's just part of the media. We are being told that our attention span is so short that we'll only pay attention to something for a second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I am here to battle that. Because if your attention span is just that short, then no, you can't be an entrepreneur because you won't have the span of attention to set a plan. So yes, I am here to battle that. Before there were corporations, people were entrepreneurs. While corporations were being established, they got their ideas from entrepreneurs. There were entrepreneurs who started corporations. The point is, before corporations, before people were told, here, just go do this and here, this is provided, people actually had to stop and think for a minute. Selah. Stop, think, change if necessary, move forward. Selah. That's the language that goes through my mind. Kilson. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you. Thank you for stopping by in the party. Welcome, welcome. Papa, Joyce, Jesse MTZ, B. Hara Sahayawada. Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy upon all of you, your families, and your circles. Slow it go, kids. So as I was saying, your website is a very important address for you to have. Because you can represent yourself from your website. You can set your website up as your portfolio. You have your home page, you have your About Me page, and as I mentioned earlier, I have a blog page. You can also open up a page where you embed videos and other channels. So if you wanted to have a social media page that shows the different places where people can go and find you, then you can have those embedded in your website. And you want to direct people to your website. When people put in applications, they have to go and show up at a certain place to fulfill that request. I want to occupy this space and get paid a determinate amount of money for a determinate amount of time. They have to go to a specific location to do that. Well, you should have a specific location where people can find you and contact you and speak on the relative terms that you want to do with your services and your products. You might just have a special interest group that you want to tell other people about. Because yes, this is marketing, this is promotion. An entrepreneur is going to find ways to do all of those things, whether you are taking in partnership with other people who have certain sets of skills, or you take it upon yourself. Because yes, a sole proprietor is going to be willing to do those things. This is not just you wake up and you know that you're going to report at 9 and you get to go back to the house at 5. You don't get to stand around from 9 to 5 and pretend like you're putting in work. You don't pretend like you're toiling. No, you actually have tasks that you have to accomplish. And if you don't, then your business sinks. This isn't about standing around and complaining because the boss don't do nothing and don't even know what's going on. So if the boss didn't do anything and didn't know what was going on, then when the boss comes back and says, hey, there's going to be some cuts in pay, that's not the time for you to get mad if you've been only doing half the tasks. Because while you think the boss don't know, the boss is the one that's reading the ledger. You should think about getting your own ledgers instead of talking. Mercy, I see you. Isela Carlos Paico. Bienvenuto. Hashem Yahav Alahim. Shalom Abarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who is catching this message. Brother Charlie, I see you in the room. Brother Charlie, I need for you to get up with Brother Trucker, because I hear you all have come up with a slogan. I need for you all to meet up with me in Discord. I need for you and I to have a conversation. It's been a while. Your website, your web address is just as important as your postal address. It's just as important as that address that everybody shows up to because they know they can get a paycheck on Friday. Your web address is that important. What are your business hours? If you are a sole proprietor and you are an entrepreneur, yeah, you could say, I open at 8 and I close at 5. If you are an entrepreneur, when you open your eyes for the day, you're thinking about things that you're going to have to do concerning your trade. Sometimes it's improvements, sometimes it's studying, sometimes it's catching up, sometimes it's going out and finding new clientele. That could be physically going out of the house, or that could be sitting back and opening your handy dandy device and finding ways to reach out to people. You can text people, you can call people, you can develop a little picture and send it to them. Say, hey, I was thinking about you. See, that's the new thing. You can go and buy a blank card, write a message in it, seal it up in an envelope, hand it to them, right? Or you can come up with a picture and write a little message and say, hey, I was thinking about you. Send it to them. Bing. See, I know you can do it because people like to do chain mail all the time. Share this picture with friends and everybody will be blessed. Share this song with friends. Send it in the text line. And everybody will be blessed. Play this song in the background of your video. Okay, so instead of us being subjected to that all the time, how about we start developing our own stuff? How about we start sharing the stuff that we develop? Hey, I came up with a picture. I want you to use this picture. All you got to do is reach out to me. Hey, I came up with this song. I got this instrumental over here. So you know that questionable artist over there that everybody keep talking about, but don't nobody really want, don't use their stuff no more. Because I got some instrumentals over here. You don't even have to go that way no more. Well, I don't know about hip-hop. I don't know about rap. All they do is negative stuff. Well, that's because you don't know that there's a difference in the culture. Rap does have negativity. Hip-hop doesn't. The things that people call hip-hop is not hip-hop. Rap is anybody that's rhyming. There's a specific culture that hip-hop is a reflection of. There are certain things that are taboo, that are not supposed to be done. You might hear a story, but you don't see people saying, hey, go do this and rise in stature. No, you hear stories about people being corrupt. You might even hear a story about somebody who found righteousness because they were living corrupt and then made a change in their life. That's different than glorifying. ill repute. That's different than saying, I'm going to go and rhyme the most clever rhyme so I can get some money. That is not hip hop. Hip hop is some of the roughest, rawest music you've ever heard in your life because it wasn't polished. It took pieces of cultures, chopped it up, and made it into a whole new rhythmic pattern because there were people who were not being able to experience certain parts of life. So they were taking sound bites of movies and TV or things that they heard outside, chopped that in to say, okay, well, this is what life is like to us. I took your little piece of what you got, but this is what I do every day. That's hip hop. And I'll represent that. Because the moment that I walked onto this earth, it was going on. You see this shirt I'm wearing? They say that there's 9 famous members out of 100. Out of those 9, I probably only listen to 3 of them. Most of them are rappers. They're not hip hop artists, they're rappers. I got Wu-Tang on my shoulder. Why? Because I'm a lyricist. I grew up watching Shaolin Kung Fu. So I know about Shaolin. I know about the actual Wu-Tang Clan. So yeah, I wear it on my arm. Because yeah, I would like to shake Method Man's hand. I'd like to shake RZA's hand. I'd like to shake Jizza's hand. The rest of them, they cool. I shake their hand, what's up, you know. But yeah, there's certain members I would be honored to meet. Now, do they always 100% speak nothing but the kingdom of Yahweh? No, that wouldn't be true. I do know, though, that they have ethics about themselves. There's certain things that they won't do. So on with the business plan for the finances. Because yes, you could have the greatest product in the world. However, if somebody isn't willing to invest in you and your story, then they're not going to invest in your product either. And if you can't get people to invest in you and your product, then you don't have any consumers. And if you don't have any consumers, you can't go into any kind of partnerships with anybody. Right? That would be an issue. You know, what if I ran a t-shirt shop? I need somebody who has materials, textiles. I need somebody else who can put together the sleeves and make sure that the collars are set correctly in the hem. Now I need somebody else to put the designs on the shirts. Or am I going to do all this myself? Because that sounds like about 2 or 3 different enterprises right there. Sounds like there could be 3 partnerships going on. They might be on different sides of town, different neighborhoods, different states. You got 3 different people coming together with the same idea. Not the same business, the same idea, a shared idea. Now with that common interest, you can form what's called a trust. You can have a fraternal order of business that is non-taxed. And in your fraternal order of business, you will state your concerns that will deal with handling any profits that are netted within the partnership. Because those profits can then be turned around and used for emergencies and for investments. A non-taxed fraternal order of business. And we've got 3 sole proprietors who opened up this trust fund. because they didn't want to be limited or have to worry about a license for anything that they draw up as a contract. Because we can shake hands, or we can write it out on paper, or we can speak an agreement as a sole proprietor. So we've got the form of contact. You are a business. You have a name. You have an address, email, website, phone number. You have a mission statement. You have declared that you are sole proprietor. We've decided that your every waking moment is basically your business hours if you are an entrepreneur. Now, people should respect your time and not just expect you to be on call for 24 hours. However, yes, as an entrepreneur, you are responsible for that service, that product, 24/7. Or as we used to say, 24/8. 24 hours, 8 days a week, right? Your overhead. If you have other sole proprietors that you are working with, your overhead becomes less. Because now those textiles that you require, you can get that from people you already work with. You're not paying rent for a storefront. There goes that overhead. Work from home. Or you might be able to do a whole lot of this virtually. So a digital presence is very necessary. You can take care of a lot of things, especially when there's not somebody coming in and asking you to buy something. See, that's what I started this whole discussion about anyway. What do you do as a business owner, and it's not at that moment when you're behind the register counting 1 + 1 = $2? What are the other things that business owners do? Because it's not about just opening up your shop and raking in the dough. There's more involved to it. That's why most businesses fail. Sure, you can have a plan. Are you actually planning out what it's going to take? Whether you are successful and rising to the top, or if there's a slow period. Do you have other things lined up? That's why you also don't want to go jumping into something just because it's trending. I'll let you know something about the content that I create. I don't post what's trending. I post what's mending. Let that sink in. I don't post what's trending. I post what's mending. We're about 3 minutes away from the top of the hour. When I was doing this regular, we would start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and we would go to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right now it's about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm doing a review, and I'm doing it from the top of my head. There's actually 7 sections to the business proposal that you would want to use. When you write that out, you will basically have the outline and the filled-in information that you would have to hand to a loan officer. If you went to a bank and said, I want to start a business, I need a $20,000 loan. And they're going to say, okay, well, we need some information from you. Before you start talking about, well, I've got this for equity and collateral and no, we need to know what kind of business you're talking about even having. When we give you a loan, we are expecting this to be an improvement to society. That's why everybody gets pushed to go to college. Go to college or get a skill and a trade. Because the more valuable each person is in society, the more valuable that society becomes. If you've got a town full of 100,000 people and 80,000 people work at a fast food restaurant, that leaves 20,000 people. That should tell you something about what's going on within that populace, though. If 80% of that populace works at a fast food restaurant, you know, most people would backpedal then, oh, well, I'm not talking bad about anybody. It's not even about that. This is about standards. There's not much expected out of a person who works at a fast food restaurant. Now, you don't know what's going on in their brain. They may be working part-time at that fast food restaurant, and they're going full-time as a student and extending themselves like crazy to do so. You never know what kind of formulas might be going on in that person's head. And then you got the full-time fast food worker. They can tell you everything about what goes on inside that building, what the codes and the standards are. So what if you have a population that could be either or? Some of them are trying to go and find other things to do, to focus on in life, but others, that's their lot in life. I have been told how to run this box, and I can do that for the next 40 years of my life. I know everything about how to run this box. I've been not live for about 3 weeks now, going on 4. I have been on Discord. Been running around this town that I'm in, meeting and greeting with people and learning a few things, finding out a few things. Found out that the school system is trying to tell people that the Messiah was African American because he wasn't white, so he was African American. And nobody knows the names of the clans. It's just there were Native Americans over here. So I was talking to a young man in the park. He's about 16. And see, he made a statement to his family because they are always asking him if he's met someone who happened to be black or colored. And he said, well, that's not a defining term. So I said, well, what do you know about white? I said, that means brilliant, translucent, clear. Doesn't mean the color that most people think. What? So we went through the whole thing about the polar bear's hair and all of that, and he knew that the polar bear's hair is black underneath. And so it was funny. He said, so what about black bears? If you cut off all their hair, are they white underneath? Funny as ever. But at the same time, he told me, no, they don't teach anything about what that region is on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, number one. And they don't teach anything about the clan councils. He didn't know about Choctaw, Seminole, or anybody. And I told him I was Blackfoot Sioux, and he looked at me like I told him I was from Mars. Native American. I said, well, okay, well, how are you going to be native to something that wasn't here? Because it wasn't America then. You're right. But I thought Jesus was an African American. I said, he didn't come from America because there was no America then. And it wasn't called Africa then either. See, we have to watch out. If we don't put the correct information out there, people will be misinformed. And we have a mission statement. The righteous path. The law, the doctrine, the standard is supposed to be heard and shown across the face of the earth, the whole face of the earth. Front, back, center, left, right, the whole earth, all corners of the earth, the surface of the earth to all people. Doesn't mean that everybody has to accept it. It means that it has to be shown. That is our duty. For everybody running around here talking about that they are the Messiah or the Messiah is coming and all of that rot, it's not happening until we finish our work. And our work is to make sure that the righteous message is spread across the earth. Not a halfway message. Not somebody wanting to play with your feelings message. That means that we, who represent the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim, need to start standing up and saying exactly who we are and what we do. Not everybody from Yahasharayah was a shepherd. Some people were fishermen. Some people were carpenters. Some people were teachers. Some people were into medicine. Some people were actual priests. Some people were judges. There's 12 different occupations that we need to be looking at and covering before we can even talk about who is in the nation. Which office are you covering? Where do you really have some authority? What talent were you born with? Because that's your name. Find 12 people doing 12 different things in the name of Yahweh Elohim, and build a fraternal order of trust, because there is one that already exists. It's called STOP. Now, where are you, and why aren't you lined up saying that you're part of the trust? You can find me on Discord. My artist name is 3P Roj, 3PROJH. 3PROJH. Start up your Discord and look for me there. 3PROJH. See, I'm not one of those people that reacts just because somebody posted some silliness on YouTube or Facebook or TikTok or whatever. I'm not one who reacts just because another body was found. They've been finding bodies for the last 20,000 years. They're going to keep finding bodies until y'all stop saying, oh, I'm in the system, but I'm not of it. Why are you in the system? You got a choice. I'm not in that system. I come from Yahweh's system. I stay in Yahweh's system. Everywhere I go, Babylon crumbles around me. Everywhere I go, Babylon is crying as it is being destroyed. So no, I am not going to post up a reaction whenever somebody's beautiful picture of Babylon is crumbling. I'm laughing. I'm rejoicing. I am properly saying, Chazan, Yahasharayah. Rejoice. Rejoice when you see Babylon fall. There's 7 sections to a business proposal. If you say that you have a business, if you say that you want to provide a service or a product, or you would like to represent a special interest group. Now, the business proposal that I'm actually supposed to use that I learned in school, it's got about 15, maybe 17 sections to it. So I'm telling you about a short order one. And here's something for you. There was a time when we used to look up templates as outlines. But no, we didn't go to artificial intelligence and have artificial intelligence completely write out everything that we wanted to say. I use artificial intelligence. I don't use it for my own work. I speak with people. I check in with artificial intelligence just to see. Just to see the capabilities. And the reason why is because 2015, 2013, I was taking some online classes. You could tell the people who had English as a second language, because, you know, they were speaking another language and they were from a different place and all of that. And you could tell those who could not write out a complete sentence, a complete paragraph, or a complete 5-paragraph essay. Some of them couldn't carry on just one solid thought to go through a whole discussion. It was just everywhere and it was all just broken. I wouldn't dare ever say that whenever I saw that somebody was turning in artificial intelligence for their assignments, because we did have discussion boards and a person would have to come in and give a comment. And that means you don't just say a couple of words. You don't just say one sentence. When you give a compliment or when you give a comment, you're giving a paragraph. A paragraph is at least 3 sentences. Introduce your idea, put a backup statement about the idea, and then close out. That's at least 3 sentences. That's something that's missing in our culture today. And I'm talking about humankind. People are so busy trying to text the quickest message they possibly can that we lose context. We lose intimacy. And when I say intimacy, it means just that. It's not a sexual connotation. It's the fact that we do not have direct communication, reception, intention, and then reciprocation. So there is no intimacy. You can't have intimacy if somebody puts IKR. Iker? Ikra? Now, ikra actually is a word. Well, my mind is somewhere else when that person is talking about I know, right? I'm not intimate with that, so I don't know. Family, I've been away from the live camera for about 3 weeks because I was hanging out in Discord. We had started doing classes. Set up a format because we have 10 special interest groups. Normally we would take 1 day out of the week for each special interest group, and then Sunday would be Q&A. Saturday we consider Shabbat, so I don't do a live on Saturday. There's plenty of speakers who have their thing. There's already some established stuff. Anybody can go and take notes from them at any given time. As a matter of fact, sometimes I do. So I don't do lives on Shabbat. 10 different special interest groups. Each of them have their own day. So what I did was I made 10 different channels in Discord. So each special interest group has its own channel. So now, let's say I do go live and I'm before you all and I'm speaking and everything. We can still do that. And then we can also meet up in Discord to have further discussion to where we can actually get into some things and answer questions and things like that. Because I don't mind answering questions through the comments. However, we can actually stay on topic with no interruptions in Discord. So I will be giving the invitation. However, I'm not going to just hand it out. Like I said, get your profile going on Discord. And you can look me up. You will find me. Let's see what's going on over here in TikTok land. The screen is changing up, jumping around. We've been on for about an hour and 6 minutes, so more than likely this is time for me to let them know that I'm still here. We've detected no movement. Let's see here. My Melody, Shannon, user 721194141111, Shag Nasty, Jeff K, Hashem Yahweh Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all of you, your families, and your circles. Give me just a moment. They want me to slide a puzzle piece over into place in TikTok land. And then we'll get back to our discussion. Right now I'm waiting for it to even open up. The screen is buffering and it's taking forever. So yeah, the invitation is open. Most people know me as Angelic Discipline. However, I also go by the name 3P Roj. 3PROJH. If you have a Discord profile, look me up. 3PROJH. We can discuss ethics in entrepreneurship. We can discuss organic marketing strategies. And this thing is taking forever. There we go. All right. So, about 15 minutes away from the top of the hour. We got 45 minutes to go. Toya, Kimberly Rushines. Kimberly Rushines is a familiar name and face. Very about to have you here. Voltex, C. Deans. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom HaBarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circles. Viewer 721872. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom HaBarak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your families, and your circles. Antonio Sanchez, bienvenido. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your family, and your circle. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom HaBarak. We're talking about ethics in entrepreneurship. We've been on for about an hour, and I was talking about setting up your business proposal. You can look up a template that'll have 7 sections. It's an outline telling you the different things that you need to fill in describing your business. personal business is Highest Heights Studio. It's a record label and more. Because I'm not one of those producers who makes music and then sells it on BeatStars. I'm a producer who looks for talented people. Your talent is not just singing, it's not dancing, it's not running, it's not throwing a ball, it's not catching a ball. Being a bricklayer takes talent. People can try to do that, but not everybody is meant to be a bricklayer. I've mixed masonry. I've done everything except for line the bricks up on the wall, because that was not my calling. I've mixed up the mortar and laid out tile on the floor, on a backsplash in the kitchens and toiletries and whatnot. Yeah, I've done that, but that's not my calling. I've painted walls, painted ceilings, inside the house, outside the house. 20, 30 stories up on commercial buildings. I've painted. But no, that's not my calling. So if I see somebody who's a professional who does that and that's their talent, I want to be able to let people know. I'm a talent scout. Designing outfits that are comfortable and that are also within the guidelines of what is halal, what is acceptable, what is righteous. That's a talent. No, I'm not a tailor. I know of some tailors. That's a talent. I want to tell the world about it. I don't know how to gather herbs and things like that in order to put together mixtures with shea butter. But I can contact Bev's body butter and work that out, because I know people who do that. Mario de Mello, Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, Ak. You and your bars for the day. Yeah, you all should check out Mario de Mello, bars for the day. Very prolific brother. Positive mind. Hassan, the kid, KY, Daniel Reyes, bienvenuto. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, your families, and your circles. So here we go. Dejani 1, Sev. Hashem Yahav Elohim, Shalom Barak, Allahu Assalamu Alaikum, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon you, families, and your circles. That's to all of you. If you go and visit my profile, there's some recent videos that I have posted. I've been reviewing some words, some hot topics. Grift. A grifter. A bunch of people have been grifting. Swindle. Swindler. Swindling. And then there's these giddy people. So let's close out talking about these three words, because we're still on ethics in entrepreneurship. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I wanted to talk with you first about the business proposal, because we started about 6 months ago, 7 months ago. It was at the end of March, going into April, or depending on what path you're on. It was actually the beginning of the year. It's the beginning of spring, and it was the beginning of the year, and that's when we started doing these lives. We've been talking about ethics in entrepreneurship since. Took a 3-week break, took a hiatus. I was over in Discord, and I have all the plans of going back into Discord. Came back on live because I need to be speaking with more than 3 people. So, as I was saying, we keep hearing about people acting like grifters. Well, what's a grifter? What does it mean to grift someone? It means to cheat them, to mislead someone, to misguide someone, misdirect someone while you gain from their misdirection. That's a grifter. Someone who gives you information and says, here, go do this and you're going to be successful in life. By the way, that's a paid course. Thank you for your support. And the whole time, all they're doing is just patting you on your back, telling you how you're doing such a great job. That's a grifter. You ever go into situations where everybody's repeating the same quotes, word for word? There's 1,000 quotes, but all you're hearing is the same 10 or 15 quotes over and over again. Whether it's for something positive and celebratory, or it's an explanation because there was a mishap. You get these quotes. Okay, well, how about we mend the situation so we don't have to do this out of context quote anymore, and then we can move forward, because the quote isn't helping us, nor are the actions getting us where we need to be. You see, a grifter goes into a situation and sees when people are doing that and takes advantage of it. Oh, these people are willing to just keep on walking around in a circle as long as we remove the roof sometimes and let them get some sunlight, put the roof back when it's raining. They're going to keep on walking around in a circle. Here, let's go ahead and put this beam of wood in front of them so we can give them something to do. Now they're just going to push this beam around and they're going to be in this grinder. And we'll remove the roof so there's some sunlight, and then we'll put it back whenever it rains so they'll be appreciative about it. If you go up against that wall and they don't move, you ain't be done no work. Well, we know we're moving because we're walking, right? Same quotes. Stay with me because I'm going somewhere. So a grifter comes along and says, got about 10, 15 people here. Got this brand new shiny book. Got one for everybody. I brought just enough. And since y'all use those quotes that much, I got those 15 quotes in there and 2 more as a bonus. And then on top of that, I got an automatic opener, like a garage door opener for the roof. Yeah. Sure can't wait until we go on vacation. Well, hey, look, they got an automatic roof opener now. If you push against that wall and it don't move, you ain't done no work. Well, look at that. They done came up with a new innovation on us. Look, it opened up faster and smoother now. Oh, that's great. That's wonderful. Sure can't wait till we go on vacation. Because we gonna come back, but look, that looks so much better. I was sitting up in a place that people call church one day, listening to the lady sing in the choir. I am free, praise the Lord, I'm free, no longer bound, no more chains holding me. Walk outside. Man, I gotta go to work tomorrow. Thought there wasn't no chains holding you. My soul is resting. It's another blessing. Praise Adon. Hallelujah, Hava, I'm free. It's a mindset. Because for about 2 or 3 hours on that particular day, everybody thought they were free. Especially for that 5 minutes. While that lady was singing that solo, and yours personally and a few other people in the choir was singing along too. I ain't no lead. I ain't no solo. I'll do some harmonizing and throw in a melody every now and then, but no, I'm singing is not my calling. The point is this. People were free in the mind for about 5 minutes or maybe 2 to 3 hours. We're supposed to be free in the mind all the time. The only servitude that we are supposed to be pledged to is service to Yahweh Elohim, meaning that we would be vessels doing Yahweh's will. I don't report to the clock at 9 on Monday. I hardly know what the name of the day of the week is. I don't force and fight whether or not Shabbat is Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Why? Because I rest in my work every day. What's my work? I'm the sole proprietor of HighestHeightsStudio. And it's more than a radio station. It's more than a television station. It's more than a record label. It's a network. That means that there's supposed to be a combination of other people who have their own stations so that we can broadcast the will of Yahweh on a global spectrum. We have a lot of work to do, people. A grifter comes along and slows the process of that happening. A grifter comes along and distracts people, gets a gain, and then leaves. And the people are still lost in shambles. A grifter will stick around and gain more and never tell the people the truth. Well, what's a swindle? The actions of a grifter to cheat someone, to take something that doesn't belong to you, to take something by illegal means while making it a pleasant presentation. That's a swindle. Misappropriation of money. Misappropriation of faith. Misappropriation of activity and attention. We are getting swindled every day. Every day that you scroll through your social media and you're trying to figure out how come I don't see anything that comes from Yahweh Elohim, it's because you come from Yahweh Elohim and you're not posting anything about it. Yeah, I said it. I come from Yahweh Elohim. I shall return to Yahweh Elohim. May Yahweh Elohim be pleased when I return. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amin. La ilaha illallah. Today, I looked around outside and was like, you know what? Today might be the day that I need to go live again. It was an overcast day. When I started this live, it was raining. It's still overcast. It's not raining. I might go spend some time down at the park. Nomad Studios has moved. And I've met some new people. The young man that I was speaking about earlier, who didn't know that there were clans with names outside of just grouping everybody as Native American. What they are doing right now with today's populace is what they did to Australia in 1850. There used to be 3,000 different clans in Australia. Now there's barely 300. There's barely 3,000 Aborigines in Australia now. There used to be 3,000 clans, 3,000 different tongues. Now you ask the average child, what is an Aborigine? They couldn't tell you. You ask them, where's Australia? They don't know. People are dwindling away because of lack of knowledge. It's not even that you're applying knowledge. You don't even have any to apply. I was called to get in front of the camera. I'm not a camera guy. I like to make videos, but not with me in it. I was called to do this part because it's more than just doing a live. I did a live on TikTok. Now I'm trying to get 1,000 people to watch me. I did a live on YouTube. There's about 200 different platforms. So I need a way to have 200 different cameras going on. So when I'm not in front of the camera doing lives, I'm uploading information. And the information that I upload goes to way more places. Here's an insider for you. I spent about 3 or 4 years making improvisational instrumentals every day. 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute song. Every day, one song at least. And then I would make a video to go along with it. And that just means some pictures, a slideshow, add a little bit of movement to the pictures so it's a proper video, then upload it. If you do that for 3 years straight, every day, that's at least 1,000 songs, 1,000 videos. I have that as a collection now. I really should be spending every moment of my day registering those products, registering the music, uploading the videos to other different platforms, even though anytime I post something, it's gone up to about 10 or 11 different sites that day. Posted a video today before I came on live and was basically finishing up my process. The only 2 places I haven't sent it yet is my WordPress blog. I haven't sent it there, and I haven't sent it to the social world. I haven't posted it on my cryptocurrency network yet because it just sparked in my mind. It was 3:02 Central Time as I was uploading the video to YouTube and to the shorts. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's time for a test. Last time I was doing a live, my signal got all choppy. So uh, TikTok started buffering, and then YouTube started acting funny. And so I just shut it down. I said, okay, well, we're just going to go over to Discord for a while. I haven't been on TikTok in at least a month, I know, live. Now, I've been posting stuff, and it was actually moving slow, just me trying to upload things. So that's why I took a hiatus from TikTok. I'm not going to fight the system. There's too many other productive things that can be done, you know. I do thank you all for showing your support. I thank you all for coming in, tuning in. And so I'm sending out an invitation now for real. I mean it. Go look up the app called Discord. Get your profile started. And then I want you to reach out to me. 3PROJH. 3P Roge. 3PROJH. If you know the story of Sherwood Forest, you'll understand when I tell you I throw parties in Sherwood Forest. Because I'm not a grifter. I've grown up watching grifters. I've grown up listening on the news as they expose grifters. When I was grown and had gotten all the information I needed for a Microsoft certified engineer and was preparing to get into the career of said certification, Enron got busted, shut down the company. You see, I wasn't training to be someone who worked with the cables in the network. I wasn't training just to know the programming language. I wasn't training just to be able to input data for accounting. I wasn't training just to be the guidance counselor for corporate culture. I wasn't training to be prepared to have the stress of a CEO. I was training to walk into a company and ask for each of those individuals and have them sit down and then go through the process of making sure that their whole company was being ran ethically, systematically, and efficiently. That's what I was in training for. I don't need a button-up shirt to prove that. Enron shut down when I was in the middle of that training. Now skip ahead, because that was around 2001, 2002. Skip ahead, 2012, 2013. I want to be an entrepreneur. Wound up getting a degree, and I learned how to be an intrapreneur. Use your talents inside of a bigger company so that everyone can benefit from your talents. No! Because whatever that company is going to be willing to pay me, I know that I'm actually worth 1,000 times that. You need my talent. I don't need your roof. HighestHeightsStudio is an umbrella for 10 other companies. HighestHeightsStudio itself is a trust fund. That is a face for other trust funds. Stock program, sustenance, textiles, occupations, purpose. Fraternal order of community development. Please get in contact with me. Calveron, 80s dad. Kanatara Allah. Hashem Yahweh Elohim. Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon all who catch this message, your families, and your circles. We're constantly being told about grifters. Grifters in the pulpit. Grifters who want you to show up at the ballot box. Grifters who sign your check. Grifters who hand you medicine. We're constantly being swindled. Go buy a brand new car, drive it off the lot, and now you have to take off about 1/3 of the value just because you went 5 feet. Go buy this diamond ring that came from a land where a child had to go and pull this out and hasn't eaten in about 2 days and hadn't had any good water in about 4 or 5 days. Dirty water, yes. Tabah water, no. We're being swindled every day. Oh, you want to live here? We need you to fill out this application saying that you actually make 3 times the amount of what we're going to be charging you for you to stay here per month. If you can't guarantee that you make more than 3 times what it costs for you to stay here, then no, we can't even allow you to be here. And then on top of that, we're going to be checking out your credit to make sure that in your past, you've been able to pay other people before you even came to see us. Here's your penny. To the point where we're giddy, lightheaded, disoriented. People feed us all kinds of weird information and we just have to run with that and think everything's gonna be okay, everything's gonna be all right, when no, it isn't. It is not righteous. We spend the whole day in confusion, muttering under our breath, and then when somebody looks at us, we have to stop so it doesn't look like we're crazy and we're talking to ourselves. And when they ask you what's wrong and you tell them, oh, well, yeah, that's the system, and we're in the system, but we're not of it. Okay. When are we going to get out of the system then? See, we don't just go off somewhere on the weekend for a second and get away. Just turn around and go right back. No. That's a waste of time. It's a slap in the face, and it is also blasphemy. You got people running around here right now arguing about who is paying 10%. Last time I checked, we can't have 2 masters. So if you're going to give, you got to give 100%. What's this 10%? And you can't give 10% of what you got from Caesar, thinking you can give 10% of that to our Creator and appease our Creator. I made $900, so I'm going to give 90 to the church this week. Really? I'm not going to ask you how many hours you worked, but I'm going to ask you this. Have you given 10% of the hours that you worked? And did you give 10% of the praise that you gave to the gig? Did you give 10% to our Creator? Did you cuss and fuss? 10%. Did you give thanks for how you were sustained for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Y'all run around here talking about 10%. You're supposed to be living 100% for the kingdom of Yahweh Elohim. And everything that you give would be 100%. To you, your family, and to Yahweh. Because that's all the intention. You would have something that you could put in the storehouse because you wouldn't be living greedy. Because there's standards, there's morals, there's ethics. You would put back so when there is a time of need, there would be something there. Instead of living day to day, gobbling up what you can find, and then immediately asking when you don't think that you're going to have enough by the end of the day, already asking before you ran out. Some of you really don't know what it's like to actually live on $20. $20 is going to last 14 days. You get to the point of your bill's about to be shut off. But what were you doing before you got to that point? What do you have going on in your life that didn't have to be there? I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. The more Babylon you cut out of your life, the more unnatural stress you will have. For the people in the back, for the people still out there in the parking lot. The more you cut Babylon out of your life, the more unnatural stress you will have. Ethics in entrepreneurship. There are 12 solid trades that we could be doing to represent ourselves as a nation, as a kingdom. We can be walking righteously. We can be educating ourselves. We can be supporting each other. We can be making sure that we have occupations, meaning where we work and where we live. We can. And it is not about voting somebody in the office to make that happen. It is not about getting the right person to stand up and give us a bunch of quotes. Do you know what it's really called when a person can only give you a bunch of quotes, can just tell you a bunch of quotes? I don't care what they're quoting. That's called a cliche. If there's no power behind their words, if all they can do is just tell you words, it's a cliche. Meaningless words. Well-known phrases, meaningless words. It's the reason why people are church hurt. Because you go sit up in a building and you hear the same 15 quotes. It's the reason why people are dispelled with politics. You hear 8 different people give 2-hour speeches and it's the same 15 quotes. It's the reason why nobody wants to go out and find a job. Fill in an application, it's 15 questions. You want to pass the interview, you better say the right 15 quotes. Coming on the top of the hour. 3P Roche. 3PROJH. Plan, produce, peace. Roche. Wind, soul, spirit. Some people would say ruach or ravach. So I say Roche. Because if you look at it the right way, that means rock. Or if you look at it the way that I did it, ROJH, it's a calculus equation. Radius I forgot what the O is. Joules, hertz. Yeah, there's a calculus equation to that one. Plan, produce, peace. 3P. Wind, spirit, soul, Roche. 3P Roche. 3P ROJH. Find me on Discord so that we can really talk. Yo, 88. User 63779329443. DJ Slim Bugs. Very tabar to have you in here. Spooky Rhymes. Hashem Yahweh Elohim Shalom Barak. Allahu Assalamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh. Our Father's peace, blessings, and mercy be upon everyone who has caught this message. So yeah, I did some short videos talking about grifting, swindling, people being giddy. And it all leads to a word, a Germanic word. GHEU in parentheses upside down E. Okay. I advise you to break out your handy dandy dictionary. The screenshots that I used come from the American Heritage Dictionary. I got it online. You can also get that in a physical form. It's basically the same as a Black's Law Dictionary. It's going to give you the definitions, and then it'll tell you how to look it up as an Indo-European or Semitic root system word through etymology in the back. And that's something that you can look forward to me doing because I do that on a regular basis. Let's find out what a word means and how we can apply it. Because if you didn't know, applied knowledge is power. And people, we've got some work to do. This message isn't for everybody out there. You know who you are. And when you are ready to actually stand up, say what your talent is, be counted, please reach out to me. I'm trying to build a network. I can't build a network by myself. A network means that there are other people who are connected and involved. That's more than just reaching out and saying hi once every 6 or 7 days. It means that we are actually planning activities and making them happen. So I've been guided to make sure that I do keep broadcasting. So I look forward to speaking with you all again. I'm not going to hold you up. Robert Shafirli, wa rahmani, wa jbarni, wa fani, wa zukni, wa dini, wa afini. Allahu Akbar. Ameen. Our great Father, our great teacher, we ask you for strength. We ask you for sustenance. As we journey, do work, and gain stature while traveling the divine path, we ask you to forgive us. And we thank you. Our Father is the greatest. Ameen. Pardon me, I'm clapping because there's mosquitoes. I don't like mosquitoes. All right. So until next time, go out there and commit an act of kindness. Hashtag kindness is contagious. Yahava ahaba. When you see somebody in need of assistance, don't go ask them if they need help. Go help them. Find it in yourself, however you can, go help them. If you can't, find somebody who can. Immediately. That's compassion. Yahava ahaba. That's how Yahava showed us compassion. Made everything. Showed us how it's all in balance. Showed us how we're supposed to live. Showed us when we were out of balance. Gave us an example. This is how you're supposed to live to be in balance. Ametaba, Ametofo. That's the way to say compassion in both Japanese or Chinese. Till the next time, many much love and respect.